This guy right here is Mr. Nameco. I'm Mr. Barkley. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. This is our bust/overvalued, and we always get hate because we don't think all these guys are going to do terrible. We just think they're getting drafted a little bit too high. That's why they're on the list. We have our app coming out soon. Once it's up, we're going to have a link to it on the homepage. Interactive guide, how to win your fantasy championship. Lots of tips and tricks. It's awesome. Brent.
And it's all about risk reward, and sometimes we think the risk is too big. As an example, don't hate.
They're already hating.
Already hating. I got two that they're going to hate on. And we did this collaboratively.
That's a tough word.
Yeah, it is a tough word. But first one, Sammy Watkins. Don't hate. I know he's a freak. I know everyone's saying that he's like going to be AJ Green, Julio Jones. But you know what? Those guys' rookie campaigns weren't that ridiculous, first of all. He's got a terrible quarterback that I think is terrible, at least throwing it to him, who clearly hasn't evolved it to any kind of stud quarterback. They're going to double coverage him. He's a rookie. And he's going too high. Middle rounds, 5th round, 4th round in mocks. It's insane. If he slips, you can grab him, but don't be. He's not a wide receiver 1 or 2 on your team. If you can get him as 3, that's what you're looking for.
Miles Austin's the next guy. We don't like him for very different reasons. Obviously he's had success in the past, and you're going to look at Cleveland and be like, wow, they don't have any receivers. Miles Austin's going to be the man out there. Until he hurts his hamstring or his quad or some type of weird leg injury, he always has one. He just can't stay healthy anymore. If he does stay healthy, even then he has a quarterback who is more of a running quarterback than a passing quarterback. It's just not looking good for Miles Austin. Don't fall in love with the Cleveland depth chart and just think just because there's no one else out there that Miles is going to have an amazing year.
Again, we did this list together. Just putting it out there. ALSHON Jeffrey's my next guy.
Ooh.
Oh, 1-2.
Guy's amazing.
Guy is amazing. Had a great year last year. Jay Cutler does like Brandon Marshall more, first of all. And again, it's where you have to take him. I've seen him go above Marshall in drafts. In my early mocks, I've seen him go at the very beginning of round 2. That's nuts. Over a guy like a Dez or an AJ, you just can't do that. It's too scary. I don't want to see him as the number 1. If he can do it again this year, then yes, he's in that elite core. He just needs to do it for 2 years in a row to get into that elite core. This is his second chance. This is year 2. I did love him when he came out as a rookie. You can go back to those.
I might get a little bit of hate for this guy, but that's Eric Ebron.
Hate.
This is a freak of nature tight end that has a ton of upside. But you just see it too many times where a rookie tight end comes in with hype and then he gets 40 catches for 500 yards. And it's just not fantasy relevant. And this guy's even more raw than probably some of the other guys that have come in, as far as needing to learn the system and be ready for the NFL. He's going to be good at some point. We just don't think it's necessarily this year. So dynasty leagues, really deep keeper leagues, yeah, you're probably ruling over this guy for what he can do in 2 or 3 years. But I'd be shocked if he's anything amazing this year.
Next guy on my list, I won't get that much hate for it because it's pretty obvious, and that's Eric Decker. He doesn't got Peyton Manning anymore. His value goes way down due to that. But in drafts, people will look at what he did last year, and there's some morons in your league. Donger, you'll probably do this. You'll look at his numbers, say, oh, look at those numbers, I'm going to draft him. And you'll take him, and it's a bad move. So you should go really late.
That's exactly how he sounds.
It is. One day you'll all see Donger. We'll get him on here.
Julian Edelman's my next guy. Now, this is a guy we argued a lot about in the rankings.
I don't believe he should be.
I think it's too risky. New England, they shake things up. They shake things up too much. There's no guarantee, if everyone's healthy out there, that Edelman is consistently on the field. You got Vereen, you got Gronkowski, you got even Dobson. There's guys out there that have talent. And Amendola as well, if this is the one year
Amendola's going to get hurt. That's
healthy.
The only certainty in life.
There's a decent chance Edelman gets over, 100 catches again. There's a chance.
It is.
But it's too risky for where he's going. Just be careful.
And again, that's what's key. It's all about the value. It's about the risk, the ROI. Which is, we go into more detail about that on the app, but that's how you win. The next one I'm talking about is Mojo, Maurice Jones-Drew. Ugh. That Oakland situation is impossible to figure out what's going on. There's going to be people that are going to think McFadden's somehow Barry Sanders or whatnot. He's really not that good anyway. Mojo's a little bit old, a little long in the tooth, as they would say. It's going to be a weird situation, splitting carries probably, but again, people will see the name Maurice Jones-Drew and just take him based on the name when you really shouldn't based on the situation.
Toby Gerhart is next, the guy that is replacing Maurice Jones-Drew in Jacksonville as the starter. He's the starter. He's going to get a lot of touches probably, at least in the first half before they're playing from behind. But he's not a guy that's really going to get super heavily involved in the passing game. That's the thing that worries me the most about him playing out there in Jacksonville, is they're terrible. They're going to be playing from behind, and then Gerhart's probably going to be on the bench. So, yes, he's a starting running back. Yes, he should be drafted in all leagues somewhere in the late middle rounds because he is going to have some good games. He's going to get some goal line carries if they can get there. So just keep that in mind with Gerhart. He's not going to be amazing, but he could be okay.
The last guy I'm talking about is Kyle Rudolph. And it's weird he's even on this list, but we were looking at some of the other quote-unquote experts, like we are quote-unquote experts, but other sites out there. This guy keeps getting ranked over like Pitta or Jordan Cameron at times,
Silly.
Jordan Reed. It's like, what, and why in God's name would he be ranked over those guys? So he's making our bust list. We have him clearly a lot lower. Check our tight end rankings and all the other rankings, and please, feel free to leave a comment and the like button, side note. But Kyle Rudolph has never done anything that great for him to be a top 10 tight end option. Other sites have him there. No chance we do.
If you watched our Deep Sleeper show, you could probably guess that this one's coming because we do love Devontae Freeman. We don't really love Steven Jackson as much. It really seemed like kind of the wheels came off Steven Jackson last year. Just 1 year older at this point. You got to think that Father Time's catching up with him, and I think that's a big reason why they drafted Freeman. He's
Freeman's
going
to start flying up draft boards.
I
think everyone's going to fall in love with this guy.
He's a guy that you should fall in love with.
First.
We did, maybe. Well,
I'm always right. That's the way the head works.
But Steven Jackson's scary pick. I don't care how far he slips. I'm probably not touching him this year.
I gotta do a paper throw.
Do your paper throw.
Paper throw!
Check out all our tiers and rankings, sleeper shows. This is online.
It was online.
Get in the forums if you got any questions. Football!
Paper throw!
Yay!
Yay!
Pen flip. Oh, it hit me in the face.
Awesome.
Did you like what you saw? Then check out some of our other videos and subscribe to our channel.